The Heritage is not the most popular Harley, but after putting thousands of miles on many different Harley baggers, I've come to the conclusion that it's the best. I'll explain that more in a bit. What would you say is top-selling Harley this year?
There's a new challenge in the game, the Low Rider ST.
I think the Low Rider ST is your favorite.
It really is.
So, not the Heritage, not your top-selling.
Not the top, but Heritage is top 5.
Not too bad.
Top, probably 4. The traditional Heritage
Yes.
is kind of a retro.
Yes. The Heritage comes in a variety of colors. Oh, this red one is a real nice color scheme. The Heritage was styled after the 1949 Hydroglide models. The styling hasn't changed much since then, other than the comfort and reliability of a modern motorcycle. When the Softail line was most recently redesigned in 2018, it was mostly just to improve handling and performance, but still keeping the retro look. The seat height comes in at a really low 26.3 inches tall, and it has a wet weight of about 730 pounds, making it about 100 pounds lighter than the Harley Road King and almost 200 pounds lighter than the Road Glide, Street Glide, and Electra Glide. It gets about 47 miles per gallon, and that thing can last you over a couple hundred miles. The prices, depending on the color, are about $20,000, but that's without accessories and mods that you'll probably want to do. As far as accessories, as with any Harley, there are a ton. Probably the most important accessories are engine guards, especially if you want to maybe be a little crazy and take that Harley off-road, or just practice your slow speed skills. And maybe an additional bag that can go on a sissy bar on the back. That's the one con about the Heritage against the larger baggers, is those side bags are a little bit smaller. So personally, for a week-long road trip for me, they're a little bit tight. So maybe you want to know how this does as a road trip bike. I've put on about 2,000 miles on a Harley Heritage between both my road trips to Sturgis, this year and last year. The classic windscreen doesn't look as cool as the clockworks that are popular on Harley baggers right now, but it definitely does the job at keeping the wind buffeting off of you and keeping you from getting too tired. And of course, can't forget cruise control. Some people don't like the Harley stock seat, but for me, my at-home bike is an adventure bike, and I just think the Harley stock seats are incredible. For the Heritage, I would just add a backrest, and between that and a sissy bar and an additional bag to go on that, I think it's a perfect road trip bike. Sure, you get a little bit less storage than on the Road Glide, the Street Glide, and the Road King with the 2 huge side bags, but for being so much lighter, I think it's worth it.
Thank you. You too. I don't know about you, but the cool kids in school were not the ones who were on top of the latest trends.
Maybe we just weren't popular, but I think we just knew how to focus on what really matters. Oh yeah. Yeah, the Heritage, it's so comfy. It's my favorite. If you're interested in this bike, you probably also want to know how it does for commuting. So with commuting, comfort is not the most important thing, but probably ease of use in traffic, slow speeds, around town. This is why I say this bike is the perfect bagger, because it has everything that you need to be comfortable riding 500 miles in a day. Sure, you've seen me put a couple thousand miles on the 800 and 900 pound baggers, but I wouldn't have been able to do that had I not had private lessons from a retired motor police officer. Shout out Ride Like a Pro. And I know a lot of you have full-time jobs, maybe you have kids you're taking care of at home, and you may not have a lot of time to dedicate to practice. So you may want something that has a shorter learning curve. And that's why I think the Heritage is so perfect. Because it's so much lighter, it has that shorter learning curve. I didn't feel like I needed so much practice to get used to the weight of the Heritage. The Heritage is light enough, it doesn't really even need my smaller rider tricks that I need to apply for the heavier baggers. You can just kind of ride it pretty much intuitively. And for reference, I'm 5'3.75 inches tall and probably not as strong as the average dude. Because of its low seat height and lighter weight, it just feels very manageable in traffic without very advanced skills. It's probably a little bit on the heavy side for a brand new rider, but if this is the biggest bike you've ever ridden, I don't think the learning curve would be as big as an 800 or 900 pound bagger. So the Heritage, compared to the Road King, the Road Glide, the Street Glide, the Electric Glide, so much lighter. Yeah, you compromise a little bit on storage, but that's an easy workaround and definitely worth it to skip that much larger learning curve that you may need if you're just a short rider. Probably another more comparable to the Heritage would be the Low Rider ST. It's actually a little bit lighter at 720 pounds, but it's a little bit taller at 28.3 inches seat height. And I actually felt that the Low Rider ST had a slightly more aggressive seating position than the Heritage. For one thing, it comes with foot pegs, which of course you can change to floorboards. Although the Low Rider ST with that front fairing, kind of like the Road Glide, just looks so cool and modern, I didn't think it was as comfortable as the Heritage. And actually, after a full day of riding on the Low Rider ST stock seat, my butt hurt. So if you rather go with the more comfortable right out the gate, I would say the Heritage is the way to go. So at first when I rode the Low Rider ST, I thought it was the best bagger ever. Until I rode the Heritage. You can watch the review on the Low Rider ST next. See you in the next one.